Good morning, live from Los Angeles. It's Dr. Erin, and we are going to talk about how to co-create with the universe. So let's begin this by knowing the truth together, taking a deep breath in through the nose. Inhaling and pulling the energy up to the third eye and out the top of the head, all the way into the infinite, right? And then taking it all the way back down into the finite, all the way to the center of the earth, getting 2 feet placed, grounded on the ground, and recognizing and taking another deep breath into the nose. Inhaling and suspending the breath and allowing the prana, the breath, to really energize and do its brilliance. And exhaling out through the mouth. I recognize right here and right now the power that be, the power of knowing that I'm manifesting with the universe 24/7 because I am the universe. It is nothing separate. We do not teach duality. We recognize the oneness that we are, and in this oneness, we recognize the awakening, the spiritual awakening of the true self, recognizing that we're not this body, we're not any of the circumstances going on in the world. We are divine, powerful spiritual beings, and so we want to really develop our ability to co-create with our higher self, our true self, one with everything, which includes the universe, okay? So just knowing this together, I recognize and say, yes, yes, yes. Today is the divine day to awaken more and more. Sending so much love to so many people I see you out there chatting, whatever. Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much. I had a beautiful weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. It was very rare for me. I really didn't work very much at all this weekend, and I tend to I have so much creativity coming out of me that it's not like work. I don't consider it work. But for some reason, I worked a little bit during this weekend, but I took really the whole weekend off, which was really needed for me. We've been extremely busy through this entire time. So today I want to get back to the basics. Every single Monday, I talk about universal law. Sometimes I'm interviewing, sometimes we're doing whatever, but I want to actually just come on and bring back the basics because I think it's so important to recognize that we're here really as divine spiritual beings experiencing ourselves through this universe. And so I always think about, why does it matter? Why the hell does somebody care about universal law? Why should they care, right? And I think that it comes down to this. Obviously, when I've worked with so many different people, everything from single moms, I've worked with, people dealing with that have been sexually assaulted. I deal with people that just want to get more money. I've dealt with high-end celebrities. I've dealt with people, entrepreneurs, you name it, all different types of people. And human beings are very fascinating, in my opinion, because human beings really are all the same. The reality is that how we manifest and what we truly desire at a core level is always the same, which is really love and connection and expression. Those are really what we truly desire after we've done our counterintuitive work of releasing all the programming of thinking we want to keep up the Jones and everything. And we really strip away, the programming, the limited beliefs and everything through all human beings. We really all want the same thing, which is love, connection, and expression. That's reality, okay? And I think that right now in this time in history, we're all shifting so much to recognize that we getting back to our core principles and that core truth within each and every one of us is always our work. And I recognize that whatever is going on in the universe right now is always working toward us to get back to the truth, obviously, always. So I want to know, why do you care about understanding universal law? And the reason why I think, for me, if you understood universal law and you understood the subconscious, how to reprogram the subconscious mind, that is the core work. Of course, meditation, breath work, everything is super, it's the fundamentals of all of it. But I think that the biggest aha moments were when I really understood universal law, because I had these times that were totally enlightenment. I would go out of body. I would have these incredible times. But when I come back into this body and into the construct of what the culture has, I'd be like, what the hell is going on? This doesn't make sense. Why am I not able to manifest what I truly want in my life? Why can I have these ethereal, godlike experiences being out of my body and then come back in and get triggered in relationship and not be able to manifest prosperity the way I want it to do? And why am I having, low energy? So I understood that having those incredible moments are great. They're our divine right. It's the truth of who we are, right? But we also have to understand this universe. We have to understand the dynamics of this universe. And so for me, I think that universal law is one of the primary ways to understand what the hell is going on? How do we manifest our dreams? How do we, claim our birthright of prosperity? How do we have good relationships? How do we have high energy? And in order to do this, I think we really have to understand universal law. So to co-create with the universe, the truth is you are always co-creating with the universe. You're manifesting 24/7. One of my pet peeves of the kind of new spiritual realm is thinking that, I have to, get a vision board. I have to try and do this. I have to, have some belief out there or use this type of thing. The truth is you're demonstrating and you're manifesting 24/7 without any effort whatsoever, period, in a story. And it all comes down to the beliefs, the be and live of what you are in the soul level, right? So how do we do this, and what are the universal laws, and how do we get beyond the old school kind of, or new school rather, of spirituality of thinking, I'm going to manifest this, or I'm going to manifest this vision board or whatever. It's all cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we found over and over again, and I find over and over again, that people manifest a bunch of shit and then they're still not fulfilled, or they can't manifest the shit and they're like beat themselves up for it. So we want to recognize that it's really about awakening. It's really about seriously just getting conscious around it and understanding how you are manifesting exactly what you're manifesting right now. So I truly believe that before we can get to what you do want to manifest, we have to do step one, which is really recognizing what you're manifesting right now. We call it the mental equivalent in New Thought. As a New Thought minister and a Science of Mind minister, we teach the mental equivalent, which is whatever's going on at a soul level. You can look at someone's life and you can know exactly what's happening. What are their beliefs? What is the limitation that they're putting on the demonstration of the entire universe? Because the universe is only abundant, right? So let's break this on down. So what is universal law? Universal law is basically the axioms. It's the axioms of life, okay? So it's the axioms of how the universe works, okay? So if you think about it like this, and if we're already God, if we're already source, if we're already that back end, it's true that we are, and we created this universe and there's just no order to the universe, then things are just going to fly around, and we're not going to be able to actually experience anything specific, right? We're just going to have a whirlwind, I always think of it like a painting that you see on the wall. And the painting is just this construct of just kind of, different colors going everywhere. And it's beautiful, right? But it's a lot more fun when you get more advanced and you get really into the details of the artistry. Well, this is like divine expressing itself, right? So universal laws is really how we have, how source, if you want to call it yourself, if you want to call it God, if you want to call it your true self, whatever, it doesn't matter, how we put order to this universe to be able to have a cause and effect of consciousness, right? So this is the physics of spirituality, if you will. It is the cause and effect. Universal law, there's really only one law. It's cause and effect. That's all there is. So we have to understand, and I teach it through 52 different universal laws just to make the distinction of how universal law works, right? So we have to understand what are the universal law, and it's really just cause and effect. It's the metaphysics. It's coming from consciousness, creates through, energizes energy and creates it into and upon universal law, and it reflects back, okay? So universal laws are the axioms. They're the axioms of how life works. It's the axioms of how you manifest, okay? It's also the modes of operation of how we create. That's what universal law is, okay? Knowing that it's like the triune nature of spirit and mind and body, or consciousness, subconscious, and life, right? Whatever you want to say. It's forms of the physics. It's how we demonstrate and how we use our mind to create vibration and have it actually go into the vibration of our subconscious mind, how that goes out into the subjective mind and universal law. Or rather, if you could say, say this mouse, okay? This mouse of a computer. At some point in time, it was just in someone's thinking. They just thought about the concept of what if we had this thing called the mouse, and what if we had it where we could, not have a keyboard and we put it outside of it, right? And then they constructed energy and they put their thoughts and they formulated and put it into, and then after they constructed this thing. And now this thing just lives in what we call cosmic consciousness, right? So we have individual consciousness, we have collective consciousness, and we have cosmic consciousness, meaning that no one has to recreate this over and over. It's held in the divine mind because it is created and by the elements and the equations that we put together. And that's how universal law is how it's a structure to this universe, and it's how we're manifesting, how we're demonstrating form. And this is also, it's basically the absolute fractalized into the expression of each and every one of us. So why do we care about this? We care about this because if we, the same use of energy, if we direct it upon universal law for abundance, we will experience more and more abundance, right? If we create scarcity, we'll create more and more scarcity, right? If we create harmony, we'll have more and more abundance and freedom and harmony and joy and love and so on and so forth. If we create in chaos, we'll experience more discord, more chaos, more hell on earth, right? So why do we care about understanding how we're manifesting? Because if you want to experience and manifest your dreams, you've got to understand how you are manifesting right now, everything in your life. You have to look at the mental equivalent. Who are you being? What are you speaking into existence? What are you focusing on? And all this stuff, right? You have to begin to back it up, and you can take a look. I can take a look at anyone's life right away. In fact, I can just feel their consciousness. When you get really clear and you do your own inner work, oftentimes you turn on supernatural abilities, which aren't supernatural at all. There are natural abilities. And I can walk into anyone's presence. If I sit with somebody for an hour and just listen to them talk, I can know exactly where their beliefs are. I can know exactly where I can actually hear their commands, their traumas in their subconscious mind. I feel it energetically, okay? And we can begin to look at this. And so the entire part of awakening or co-creating with the universe is really a counterintuitive process. It's not about becoming something or trying to believe in something or putting the vision board out there. It's a counterintuitive process. We actually take away the trauma. We release it through neutralizing the mental pictures. We take away the programming that's happened through the culture and through, things that you've seen. We take away everything that is limited identity. And what emerges is an all-powerful, all-knowing, extraordinary spiritual being that knows exactly what its legacy is, what its purpose and calling is, because it's born out of the truth of what that DNA has been through, what your own DNA has been through, what the epigenetics has been through, and completing that cycle here on Earth, okay? So what are universal laws and how do you co-create with the universe? You don't have to do anything. You're doing it 24/7, okay? But how do we consciously do it? And how we consciously do it is stated best through this. The extent to which you awaken is the extent to which you will experience being powerful. Okay, you guys get that? The extent to which you awaken is the extent to which you will experience being powerful. And one of the most profound aspects of awakening spirituality, and you begin to look at your life, begin to look at what you are manifesting, what you've already manifested, who you are, and the mental equivalent of that through your life, is that if you begin to understand what you've created, and this is another thing that's so magical in the E4 trauma method, is when somebody goes into that trauma in their past and they begin to see where they have basically commanded a limited belief, like, I will never love again, I'm not enough, life hurts, whatever it is that they've commanded. They recognize in that moment, and I think this is the most profound thing, is that this is what it was for me, and I've witnessed with so many clients, is they recognize in that moment that they decided that, and that command has been playing out over and over and over in their life. But they realize that if they did that, if I did that, if I could use the energy to make a command that's limited, I can also choose it to embody the truth, okay? So look, vision boards are great, but not until you've awoken, okay? Manifesting a bunch of crap is like the rat race where you're going through this maze over and over again, and you hit a dead end, and you hit a dead end, and you're like, maybe this will fill me, and you go over here. Maybe if I just make, $1 million a year, then I'll be fulfilled. Oh no, maybe if I just get a better relationship, then I'll be fulfilled. Maybe if I just, and it's like, until we delayer and make it to the truth that you're whole and complete exactly as you are. That you're whole and complete exactly as you are. And success doesn't have to do with doing. It doesn't have to do with anything with doing. You are already divine. You're already this magnificent miracle just by the essence of who you are. Like, you are success in the highest of highest. Like, even just think about the millions and millions of sperm that had to come into your mother's egg, and you are the success. You just by you being here in this body is a miracle in of itself. Okay. that manifesting and demonstrating and co-creating the universe is what you are. You are the universe. And I think it's so important that we get that. We get over, the doingness and I'm not enough and this whole thing. And that doesn't mean that we don't claim our birthright of prosperity. That doesn't mean that we don't want extraordinary relationships. But we have to understand how the universal law works. And we have to understand that the extent to which you make somebody wrong in relationship is the extent to which you're just not going to have good relationships. The extent to which you focus on what you don't want in life is the extent to which you're going to get more of what you don't want. The extent to which you focus on creating abundantly and innovating and inventing is the extent to which you'll have prosperity. And the more you give of value, you're going to get value, right? The more you give of love, you're going to get love. The more you give of energy, the more high energy you're going to have. This is the law. This is how we co-create with the universe. So it's not yes, 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 you are a miracle. And I recognize right here, right now, that if we understood universal law, if we every day, in the Bible it says, fear thy Lord. It's not about fearing some man in the sky. It's about fearing the law. If we understood that every thought that we think, every feeling that we feel is informing the subconscious mind, we would recognize how important it is to feel good, to only speak of what we do want in this life instead of what we don't want. We would only give love abundantly, unconditionally. We would never make anyone wrong. We would never complain. We would never do these things. We would recognize if there's something that is grieving, something that we would go in and do our inner work and go into meditation, go into prayer, go into subconscious work, go into E4 trauma method. But we would never speak that just out in the world. It's out of practice. And as I'm developing spiritual practitioners, what a spiritual practitioner is somebody who lives and breathes the truth. They have recognized and understand and understood universal law, and they understand how important it is to basically be able to live and breathe the truth. Live and breathe only projecting out what they do want in life instead of what they don't want. That doesn't mean we're not delusional. It means that we do something about it. If we're upset about something, we have two choices, right? We either accept it or we do something about it. We either accept it or we do something about it. So if there's somewhere in your life and you're like, I don't feel empowered, it's because there's a lie. It's because there's a lie, there's a limited belief. And it's because you're not accepting people, places, and things or yourself as they are. And you're also just not taking the divine action, inspired action, without resisting what is. Because just like physics, what we resist persist. So today, as we go into our day, we have to recognize the power that be, the power that you are, the power that I am. And so today, the question someone asks is why do some things take long to manifest, right? Why do some things take long to manifest? If the truth is that instantaneously, as we embody the beingness, the belief, things are done instantaneously. The whole universe will shift instantaneously, right? Well, we have to understand, why do some things take a while to manifest? Because there's what's called the law of growth. There's 52 laws that I teach. There's only one law. It's the law of cause and effect, right? But there are some things that take long to demonstrate because it's about the body, it's about the mindset and the skill set, right? For example, I use this over and over again. The ballerina can decide, I love ballerina, I love dancing, I love all that, but they don't get the rudiments into the muscles. It takes time to do them over and over again and get that memory of the rudiments of a ballerina into the muscles. It takes time to understand and learn the skill set of doing twirls exactly right and spotting each time you turn around as a ballerina, right? So there are certain things that takes time only because it is demonstrating through the physical realm, okay? But someone can decide to be a ballerina instantaneously. They can use a power decision and say, I am done. I am a ballerina, period. This is what I'm handing my life over to. And in the universe is, and so it is. And so the truth is, what can you manifest? You can manifest whatever. The universe does not know the difference between a penny or $1 billion. It doesn't know the difference. It just is, it's neutral. It doesn't know anything, okay? It just says yes. That's all it says is yes. Yes, and so it is. Yes, and so it is. That's all it does. The only thing that can restrict you is your own beliefs, your own universal use of universal law, which is your soul. Your soul is not neutral whatsoever. Your soul has an identity, and in the identity, you're such a powerful spiritual being that the moment you even consider yourself to be or not to be, it's done, okay? The minute you consider yourself to be powerful or not powerful, it's done. The minute you consider someone to be good in prosperity or in scarcity, it's done, okay? You are the powerful being. You are what sets the universal law into motion, okay? You are the law. You are the law. You are universal law. You are the universe. You are this. You're not co-creating with it. You are it. That is the truth, okay? So what do? How do you do this? It's really a counterintuitive process, and the biggest thing you can do to embody your full divinity is to do the work to release everything that you are not. That's our only work, is to get out of the way, as we say. Get out of the way. So how do you get out of the way? You get out of the way by doing your emotional trauma work, E4 trauma work, the most important thing. People can sit, like The Secret was great, but the problem is that people just thought, I'm just going to sit there and feel it. But a lot of people would try and feel it, but they actually didn't believe at a core level. And it's because they had subconscious trauma. They had emotional trauma. And so you've got to deal with it. So how do you fully embody your power? You get out of the way. You do your subconscious emotional trauma work. You do your spiritual practice. Yes, meditation, visioning, intuition, doing affirmative prayer, doing affirmations, do everything. It's also about getting in alignment with a great community so that you're not constantly battling the people in your life for the limitations. Yes, yes, yes. Love all those things. So then finally, the last question is, what can I manifest? And again, the universe doesn't know the difference between a penny or $1 billion. It only says yes. So the real question is, what do you really truly want to manifest? Because the biggest thing that I see people, why they're not manifesting, is because they're not truly committed to it. They're not willing to do the work to embody what it takes in the mindset and the skill set to manifest and be the mental, have the mental equivalent in their life. So what can you manifest? That's up to you. You decide what you want to manifest, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to embody it. And that means doing your inner work. That means doing your trauma work. That means having a spiritual practice. That means getting mentors and coaches. That means having environment. That means all those things, right? What do you want to manifest? Only you get to answer that. The issue is that most people will say it, but they're not willing to actually be what it takes to have that mental equivalent of what they truly want in their desires and dreams. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in together as we breathe in this divine day. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Holding, suspending the breath, exhaling out through the mouth. Let's breathe in one more time through the nose. Having the spine erect, allowing the energy to flow through all of you, out into all of you, the universe, and into Mother Earth. Exhaling out. I recognize right here and right now the power of manifestation, the power of embodiment. That really is what manifestation is. I recognize that you are manifesting 24/7 all the time, and you're co-creating with the universe because you are the universe. I recognize it is your divine right, that anything that you've ever desired is your birthright, and that you can simply look at what you're manifesting by looking at your life. You can take a look at your relationships, look at your energy levels, look at your community, look at your wealth. Look at all this. This is what you believe. If you want to know what you believe, simply look at your life. That is the truth. And in that recognition of knowing that you can create anything, you can create scarcity and you can create abundance, it is the same use. Whatever energy has bound you can set you free, because you are the backing of all energy, and you direct and form energy with the power of consciousness, with the blink of consciousness. And I recognize in my heart, my mind, I write this, we speak this, we live this, we love this, as together we say, and so it is. Okay, guys, have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth.